Bible underneath my right hand, I made it out of tight jams. Guns all on my nightstand, my life should be on Vice land. My fingertips to hold the marijuana aroma. High school, I went to school high, still got my diploma. He got riddled and left alone for some Skittles in Arizona. The same time a man dies by his own for a pair of Jordan. It's crazy how we living, we all misguided children. Niggas out here getting got, trying to figure out how to get it. We the ones that's not afraid to let the hammers off. The same ones that feed the homeless with the cameras off. The life I'm living kinda hard to get a handle on, but I'm blessed and God knows I can't be mad at all.
Uncreative Radio is interesting. Mark was telling me about one of his friends, Abebe, who has just done some really phenomenal things in the music space in Miami. From the moment that I met this guy, we instantly clicked, and he is just a really awesome storyteller. I mean, he's met so many incredible people, and listening to him, he has such a great perspective on music, life, art, and business, and this was by far one of my favorite new friends. What's up? This is Uncreative Radio. I'm with my man, Abebe. Thanks for coming through, man.
Oh, man. It's just my pleasure, man.
Yo, you have done what most Miami people don't do. That 95 North. You did it.
Yes, I came. I was on time.
Yeah, you were on time. To hear that, Miami folks. Why do Miami people never leave Miami?
It's just hard. It's just a lot going on, man. It's almost like my friend, Trick Daddy. Like, it's just, he can't stay away from Miami too long.
Right.
It's just a vibe, I guess.
Would you? Okay, have you've traveled a few places?
Yes.
What do you feel like what city has the worst traffic?
LA. Yeah.
I gotta agree with you, man. LA, there ain't nothing like it.
Nothing like it, man.
You just be any time of day. So every time I'm driving 95 North coming from Miami back to the studio, I'm like, it could be worse.
But you always see like a fake Elvis or something to entertain you as you're in traffic. Like, whoa, there's a horse with
somebody's doing something wild.
Something wild.
So Circle House Studios, man, you guys have been doing your thing since the 90s. You've had all types of people come through that thing.
Long time. Even before Circle House, my dad had another studio. And that was like in Hollywood. That's where like your 2 Live Crew.
Right.
And a lot of groups, a lot of reggae acts started. Super Cat.
Right.
All that stuff like that started over there. So as a kid, I was like 11, 12 years old, like going to the store. Hey, man, it's $50 to go to the store.
Right.
Like, oh, man, Super Cat just sent me to the store.
Sent me to the store, right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So you just like,
that's crazy.
You take those stories in and then you don't pay attention to them as you doing it. But as you grow up and you see, you're like, wow, like I was around that. I saw that.
And you don't really know what you were around at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's later.
And then you feel like you owe the world something.
Right,
you
absolutely.
feel like you owe Miami something.
Yeah, you have these stories that need to get out.
And I've seen it.
And like Bad Boys, obviously that song is super. People still using it to this day.
Yes.
And your pops was a part of that.
Yeah.
And then the Bad Boys movie coming out.
Yes.
And you sat down with Will and Martin.
Yeah, Will and Martin. Luckily, man, it happened like this. We've been trying to like meet them for a while. It's been
crazy.
Scheduling problems. And it's 2 new directors they got from Morocco.
Yeah, because it's not Michael Bay this time. It's these two other directors.
Yeah, I met Bruckheimer too. He was on
set.
Oh
wow!
So
people don't know about Jerry B.
He was chilling in the cut. He was chilling in the cut.
He's produced so much stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and it was a great experience, man. I just DM'd one of the new director guys. He's like, yo, I can't believe it. Come by.
What?
So I just grabbed my dad and my uncle and just
You hit him on the DM.
Hit him on the DM and he said, come by.
Come slide through.
And
while they were shooting.
Yeah, and it's so crazy. It was the last day of shooting before they finished up.
That's crazy.
They just came back to like, I guess put some finishing touches on everything. And my uncle and my dad were going crazy because, like, Will and Martin, they were very, how do you call it? Like, happy to see them.
Absolutely. They were excited. Yeah, exactly.
They were excited.
They were fans.
They were fans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was an amazing, it just happened so fast. You didn't pay attention to it, but it just like.
Were you starstruck? Were you just
definitely Will Smith? Like,
man. Yeah, man. What's your first Will Smith memory? Was it fresh? Is it where?
Yeah,
because he was doing music back in the day too.
Yeah, all that music, Summertime.
Right, Summertime for sure.
And of course, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and all that stuff. That was excellent.
What was it like being just whatever this distance away from those guys?
He was cool, man. It was like a good vibe because Will and Martin, like surprisingly, they were like, man, it was like. Lay back, man. I thought there'd be more security on set, man. You could have just
slided like, hey, what's up, man?
What's up? Like, what's up? People didn't even know. Right there by Jungle Island, you had superstars sitting right there. We were at the Island Gardens.
People just driving by.
They didn't even know.
What do you feel like, because the celebrities, like, you feel like you meet some of them and it's like, they're exactly what you think. Like Will, like on his IG.
Exactly like
It's exactly like that.
Exactly.
And then what is it? I'm sure you've met some other cats that have come to the studios and stuff where you're like, yo, man, this is nuts. Like, it's nothing like I thought you would be.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are very intelligent, you know, and you think, because you see the Instagram, you see the weed,
right?
You see the guns, you see the drugs, see the girls, all that stuff. But like, if you really sit down and have a conversation with these guys, you'll be so surprised.
Yeah, like 2 Chainz is smart as hell.
Very smart.
Yeah, and people don't think that. Why do you think that is? Why do you think people can't break that down? People like compartmentalize you and rapper. You're just this is what you do. 24/7.
I guess it's like a stigmatism, some type of like they like, hey, just because he raps like this, he doesn't know anything else, or he doesn't know that. But like, if you really sat down with like some good rappers, you make it change the world.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I'm saying, and put them in certain different positions, because people always want to judge or want to talk, but like, we're really in the situations. We're dealing with it.
And they're using art, and the people feel that they're using art as an expression, but it's also like they're using, like, I mean, it's almost like poetry in motion.
Yes.
And the way you're arranging these lyrics and writing these lyrics, that if it was something that Shakespeare did or something, you'd be like, oh my gosh, it's great. That's what they're doing, you know, but to music with sounds and lyrics.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Nas, you know, like coming up. I met him from Salam Remy, you know, so good brother.
Wow.
You know, you'd be surprised how cool he is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just intelligence. It's just smart. It's just, you know, it's just a vibe.
Have you seen any differences between, like, because you came up with some of those cats, Nas, in the studio. Have you seen what's the difference between guys like Nas, Hove, and stuff like that to the artists that you see today?
Well, it's just like they care back in the days. They care what they said.
Right.
You know, it meant something. Like, I'd come in there and I would see Nas and reading books, you know, before they start rapping. Like they would talk about things before they would start rapping, like social issues and different things. You know?
I felt like NWA and people like that were really trying to communicate a message.
Yes.
Do you feel like that's happening now?
Yes. You could even see that through Ice Cube's children.
Oh my God.
Like his son.
Oh
is
my
like,
God.
I gotta, like,
for sure.
Yeah, I don't know him personally, but I love the way he moves. You know what I'm saying? He thinks he doesn't settle.
Right.
You know, and like, you could tell by his dad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like,
do you feel like that's fallen off?
Somewhat, definitely falling off, because the culture, we got to get back to that. You know,
I feel like everything is moving, trying to be so fast. Like, I'm trying to just get a hit. I'm trying to go really fast. Like, how do I get to that point? You
Spotify, the drugs, the girls,
exactly.
the money, the Bentley,
and just keep doing it. Yeah. But you start to hear like, hey, that song sounds the same. That song sounds the same.
100%, and they're going through that right now. But you know, it's through streaming now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the labels are catching up where they were lost. Right. You know, so now money's flowing back in the industry.
What do you feel? Are you Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal? What's your
I'm like Spotify.
You like Spotify?
I like Tidal because, you know, Hove, and, you know, doing this thing, and I gotta respect that, you know, because he's a good guy. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like? Do you feel like where do you feel like the record labels are? You feel like they're moving? Are they respecting streaming for it? It used to kind of be like a war.
It used to be a war, but now they're
you and I used to buy records.
Yes,
we used to go to Tower Records.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
Yes,
and purchase
and
listen.
Through, I used to.
You remember the book? You pull the book out. You read, like, all the lyrics were there. You know, it was a thing.
Yeah, it was a thing. It was. You were more invested into music.
Right.
You were more knowing when it came out.
Right.
Like, you know, the day of. You weren't just sitting by your phone. You were actually.
You were anticipating it. You were anticipating it.
Just like they wanted to go buy Jordans, you were going to buy. We were going to buy music,
Absolutely.
And it was more. Like, you heard that? Like, it was more of an excitement to me back then. But now it's just so, everything's just so accessible.
It's so accessible that it's so. And now it's like, you know, Beyonce has the surprise is not telling anybody.
Yeah.
Before it was like, let me lead up to this big release. Now it's like, don't.
Yeah.
M will just drop a record.
And that's that fan base. And I tell everybody, like, you're not Beyonce or you're not Jay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even on social media, they'd be like, yo, you post too much. Or I'd be like, Beyonce can post once a day. She got the Beehive. You know what I'm saying? Like, she can just post once a week, you know, because she has that fan base.
You could post every day and no one knows anything about what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, people, like, you know, you're posting that stuff. I don't even know. It's just, there's so much overload that people could still, you could post every day. You could post a lot and people still don't know.
Yes.
What are you listening to right now? Like, what's a record that you feel like, man, this is one that I really like right now?
Oh, man.
Or even if it took a while, you know?
What am I listening to, man? I can't even tell you, man. It's so confusing. I really go back to my old school. I go back to my old school.
What's a good old school?
Like, you know, my Two Live Crew.
Oh, come on.
Shoot, who else? Trick, Nas.
Those guys, man. Trick Daddy.
Yeah, things that really, like, can move my mind.
Right.
You know, I like to dance. I like to have fun with the new type of music, but I like my mind to.
I love when you listen to a record and you're like, yo, he just spit facts. Like facts. Just Hope did that on 444 when you're just like sitting back like, okay. When you like heard like some actual facts. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah. And he took a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Took a big chance, right? Yeah. And
he said, what he said, I'm trying to give you knowledge for $9.99.
For $9.99. Do you and I think that have you heard Jesus King? Have you heard Kanye's?
No, I didn't listen to it.
I haven't heard it either.
But he went to Jamaica.
He went to Jamaica. Yeah. He just went to a prison.
Yeah.
And he just performed there.
I saw that. Joel Osteen too.
He walked to Lakewood what do you think of Kanye going through this whole transition?
I think
because he's one of those guys that people are just like, yo, you're hip hop, weed, drugs, girls, that's you. And now he's been fashion, and now he's.
I gotta kind of believe him because, like, maybe I had a good friend, hip hop.
Sure.
A lot of people don't know who hip hop is. Hip hop is with Rockefeller.
Right.
He was like A&R.
Oh, okay.
Big's brother.
Oh, wow.
Quiet guy, but he was all into the music. You know, so like he's the guy to be in the studio for 15 hours with Freeway, Petey Crack, and all those days. You know what I'm saying? And
Freeway, wow.
Yeah, and just like, man, I forgot our question.
No, going into Kanye.
Oh, Kanye. And I went up to Baseline in New York, and I met Kanye. And when I met Kanye, his beard was out to here. His hair was not even cut.
Wow.
And they have like a little MIDI room. And he must have been in that room for like 6 months creating. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I just like, people don't understand like when like the grind. I saw him. I saw him. You know what I'm saying? I saw the no haircut. I saw the hustle. You know what I'm saying?
And I also think that people think that like this isn't something that he just flicked on one day. It's like, oh, I'm gonna do this now. Yeah. Like I don't think regardless of wherever you think about what he's doing, he put work and time and he grinded into that album just like he probably did all of his others, if not more. And so that's why I think like, man, you gotta like see. And I also think regardless if the music is good or whatever, but he is doing a lot of good with it just from being in the prison. I mean, I'm looking at their faces regardless of what
people are saying.
Exactly. Yeah. So that like means stuff to people. So
that's what we're talking about with the rappers. Like they're really making a difference because they have real power.
Right.
So it's once you go and how to utilize that power. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my Trick Daddy with his cooking. Right. Now he has a restaurant. Right. Yo, you go there, it's out the door. You know why? Because he's there.
Right.
He's motivating.
And people can feel that.
You know what I'm saying? He's pouring the gravy on your rice. And like, here you go, man. It's like
that changes everything.
It's such a motivation, and it's right in Miami Gardens. So you know you can motivate. You can do things. Just like Inner Circle on my dad, instead of like buying Bentleys and Hummers, they put stuff back into the studio and music and created.
And then look at what has come out of that.
100%. Like Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, Trina, Trick Daddy. Like we were the ones behind that sound of quality. Not the production, but the quality.
Absolutely.
When you could put in a Dr. Dre album, then you put in a Trick Daddy album, and it fit.
Right.
You know, because we had them mixing on the same console.
That's crazy.
Same boards, same EQs, same thing Dre had. You know, because my father's really precise when it comes to that sound. You know?
So and Trina was just in the news a little bit ago.
Oh yeah.
She went buck wild on somebody in Walmart. Did you see this thing?
Yeah, where people don't know her mom just passed away 2 weeks ago. So she's going through a lot. You know, and I've seen Trina from the first day she rapped until now.
What do you think about people just like, you know, you've got all this division now and people just come out, call her the N-word just out of nowhere, either just to get a reaction.
I think it's get a reaction.
What do you think? What's the reaction? Like if you're Trina, are you just like you're trying to fight somebody, or you wave it off, or what how would you kind of handle that?
Well, it matters. If I was Trina, like, you know, your peers on, you're ready to, you know what I'm saying, go crazy.
Right.
Like you at that point, or you having that bad day and somebody just pushes you over the edge.
And that's that.
And then you think of all the good you're trying to do, like raise money for this.
Absolutely.
You got a charity giving back. You're doing all this, and then
you're in the news for this, right?
100%. It's like, it's so crazy.
Why do you think people do that? What do you think that is about people? Like, what do you think it is about people like that, or on an airplane? I saw somebody do. They just want to like find.
They want to mess with you.
They're trying to push a button.
There's people that get up in the morning that's their job.
Right.
Like I got people that what Drake said. I got people in real life trying to mess up my day.
Right.
Like, it's for real. Like they get up and just like, you know what? I'm gonna ruin Abebe's day today.
Right.
What can I do? Let me look at his page.
Right, because if you and people like people hate success.
Yes.
Like, success is what bothers them, you know. And I think people want to figure out whatever their part is. But if you did see Drake walking down the street, if you really didn't like him or whatever, or you wanted to get his attention, saying the wildest crazy thing to him, that would be getting you what you wanted. And I think it's tough because people are doing it in a hurtful way.
And you don't know what type of, they're regular people.
But people don't think that. There's like
they got diarrhea, just like us. They got to take a dump just like us.
But you'd be surprised. Like, people be like, you know, like when I'm sure you sat with Will and Martin, you're like, yo, you guys are they're just people.
Just people.
And at the end of the day, they're just like, they got feelings and all that stuff.
And they care too, because that's how the guy was on set. Dion, he did the movie.
Yeah.
He was on set there too. Nice man, nice guy. And he really said, he gave me his phone number, said, let's connect, brother.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and people don't do that no more. They're like, it's like so high and mighty, but you're forgetting about people like yourself.
Yeah.
You know, that are spreading the word, that are trying like to do properly, and you just gotta help and just
keep pulling that up.
Pulling that up, because the bigger platform you get is the bigger platform. Like, yo, Josh, I got this other guy, I'm coming now. I got you. Because
exactly.
And that's how we work, like with Slip and Slide and all these labels in Miami, and we just try to connect the dots. You know?
What do you feel? Do you feel like people? I think either people from before are trying to. Do you think our generation is really trying to uplift other people? What are you seeing in the music scene that you feel like with artists? Because you're consulting, you're managing a lot of artists.
Yeah.
Do you find that everyone is kind of selfish and kind of to themselves, and they just want to, like, yo, this is my thing, this is my beat, this is my blah blah blah.
You're biting my style.
But like what I sell, like what record was it? Was it Magna Carta, when everyone was in New York just jammed? Like Nas got on it, Pharrell got on it, and like people were just like. Just having fun. And I feel like that's what was happening at, you know, Inner Circle. Like, people just coming through. Yeah. You know what I mean? But
just
I feel
vibe, you know, it's like when they see the Rastas, it's like a different thought process. You know, like my dad, when they see the dreads and they know, they have a conversation with them about spirituality. They have a conversation with them about music. And it's like, you know, like Dago Calderon, like he had a talk with my dad and Uncle Roger, and all of a sudden he grew dreads and he was more spiritual, and you know what I'm saying? Because you learn to grow, and that's what music is. It's like a story, you know, you never ending story, you know, but you got to keep pushing to go to that next level, because you can't stay the same. Right. You know?
What's special about Miami for you? Like, have you seen it obviously change, Wynwood? Yeah. What's special about Miami for you?
I would say all the cultures. Yeah. You know, there's no place in the world I travel and I see, like, in 2 blocks, I'll see like 16 cultures. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's no, like, Mexican, Haitian, soul food, Jamaican, you know what I'm saying? Jamaican fusion, Chinese, you know, the Chinese coming talking worse Jamaican than
exactly. and that's in Miami.
That's in Miami, and you're not gonna get that nowhere else. You know, you're not gonna get that mix. Homestead, we got the Mexicans, then you got the Hialeah, you got the Cubans, then you got, you know, and the Venezuelans and Coral Gables. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can really take your child on a cultural trip. If you spend it's like every weekend we're going to go to a different place, and it's going to be,
and you could and feel like you're in that area,
like, eat those foods, talk to those people, like, you know, it's amazing.
That's interesting, man. I feel like and obviously with Basel coming up, like, there's an influx of so many people. Are you guys doing anything for Basel? Like, what do you go, or what's it like?
I go down there and I check it out. It's I try to understand it more, because from the financial standpoint, everybody tell me invest in art. Invest in art. You know what I'm saying? But if I invest in it, I kind of want to.
I need to know this.
I need to know this, but I see friends like Pitbull, like he gave my dad and Uncle Roger gifts for their 50th anniversary last year, and it was art. It was a guy who made like cardboard guns or something like that. But Pit was like, "Yo, this guy got next. This is a gift to you. Trust me."
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
but you got to think about that too, because you know, speaking of 444, Hov just like bought this artwork for $2 million. 3 years later, we're at $8 million. I'm like,
trying to put us up on game.
I need to feel, you know, I need to figure that.
And look at them at the Hard Rock. You know, like the Hard Rock is changing the entire circumference of Miami.
It really is, man.
It's like, people are like, whoa, what is happening here? You know? When are you going to see Hov walking around? Like, I mean, like, I saw him like walking past, like, you know, like.
Yeah, like.
Whoa, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like it was 8 security guards, and, you know, if I wanted to, like, really touch him,
you could have.
I respected it, but
but you could have. You could be like, "Yo, man,"
right. You know, Beyonce was right there, Meek Mill, and you know, we see Khaled all the time.
Of course,
and, you know, these unsung heroes like E-Class, and these guys, like, you know. So Miami has a lot of unsung heroes. You know, of people that like kind of stay behind the scenes and really motivate the culture. You know, like, and I want to give a big shout out to like my guy E-Class. You know, he took one finger licking and turned it into 6.
Man.
You know, like you got to respect that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I respect those things, and the culture and the community should respect those guys too, because now you can mirror something instead of looking up to Billy Idol or Bo Diddley or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you look up, of course I'm not saying not to look up to those guys,
of course.
But like look at that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Look at that. You know, look at Inner Circle. Look how they came from Jamaica to Miami to change. Like, look at this, you know? So
I think people have to really start understanding, especially the younger generation, understand what people have invested in, what they're spending their time on, and that those little quick wins, like they fall short.
Yeah.
And so many artists are like that and creators are like that, but like some people will dig in and really invest in a community, invest in an area, and the outcome is so much different.
Look at Miami. Our Basel Super Bowl.
Look how much the Super Bowl's coming to Miami.
Whoa.
Nuts.
You know what I'm saying?
Nuts.
Insane. And you see what they're doing in Miami Garden. You see what they're doing in these different areas preparing for this.
Right.
You know? Rolling Loud. I don't sleep on that either. I gotta clap it up for that, because every time Rolling Loud comes, like, it's like my phone is like exploding. It's like I can't even put it down. It's like another artist, another A&R, another rapper, another art. Like, you know, it's just nonstop.
Yeah, we were at Rolling Loud last year. Mark's house is in the Gardens, and then we just... I mean, it's right. I didn't even realize how close you were to the stadium. But that thing, I mean, it takes over.
Yeah, it takes over.
Traffic,
and honestly,
everything.
It's like a money class coming here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not lying. It's like it's big money.
It really is.
Comes here like, like they're looking to do big stuff when they come into town. Like, you know, with their budgets, with the labels. And it's just, they come in here like a week earlier.
Right.
You know, especially now with the Hard Rock is going to probably be hosting where they're going to be staying.
Absolutely.
It's going to be insane.
Yeah,
it's
a crazy time, especially rolling the Super Bowl and watching this whole thing explode. And it's come up. Yeah. That Miami Gardens area. Yeah. That ain't gonna look the same after a while. Look the same, yeah. It's gonna keep growing. Yeah. And but it's gonna be interesting to see how it all changes. I was looking at what was it this weekend? I was looking at Kaepernick. Yeah. He had that big NFL show. I don't know if you follow it. Man. So he's got this big NFL this showcase. They put these things together. And everyone knows Kaepernick from obviously playing in the game. Obviously, he took the knee. And I think he had the support of pretty much everybody. Yes. Especially when everyone was saying, like, it's about the flag and all this other bullshit. And then he kind of started this whole movement, which was great. Yeah, he did. Then, and I think everyone supported that. He wanted to get back into the NFL. And so now 3 years later, everybody was like, nah. And I guess 32 teams, no one's trying to pick him up. Yeah. Maybe they think he's a liability. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, it came out this weekend that the NFL put together this showcase for him. And then he, at the last minute, changed the venue and didn't show up and went to this other place like 60 miles away. And so a lot of people are finding like, yo, man, do you really want to play in the league? Do you really not? And then how could you say, a bunch of negative stuff about the league, and so why do you want to go play there again? You know what I mean? How do you feel like you toe that line with kind of where he's at? I feel like he may have fumbled this situation this week, a little bit, because from what I'm hearing, I heard they sent him a waiver from earlier in the week. Yeah, Tuesday. Yeah, so it's not like he didn't know what was coming. So it's just. He got to prepare, man, because he got to know that the spotlight is super all on him. So it's every sportscaster, every newscaster, he had a man, and the thing, and everyone's in his corner. Everyone is, wearing the jersey in Cap's corner. I'm sure Hove is working with the NFL and being like, yo, we need to push this along. I don't think he's one of those guys that's like, nah, forget about Cap. You know what I mean? Those guys made it. They're billionaires. Absolutely. What are they mad about? What are they beefing? Yeah, exactly. Hove is he's doing his thing. The people that's under him, he takes care of. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So it's I don't It's interesting. It was interesting to see how that thing's gonna play out. Do you think a team's gonna pick him up? I don't know after this, because he's so sketchy now. So it's not like pretty rough. Saying I'm a strong person. Here's me. Right. Even if I'm not that good anymore, maybe I can bring a more of a, how do you say, mascot-y or spirit to the team. You know what I'm saying? So it's with now, he's gonna be they're scared. They're scared because he may have take their team to 6-0 and be like, I quit. Yeah, you never know. What happened? We're 6-0. Yeah. You're gonna mess us up. Absolutely. Because there's football and there's drama. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay, you use the drama to excite and understand and bring the spotlight. I get it, but then it's also people just like football. Yeah. And it's kind of like a job thing too. Yo, if it's a job interview, yo, man, Show up.
And like I like what Hov said in the press conference. He's like, okay, what's next?
No, that was the biggest thing, man. It's like, hey, man, my thing with Cap is kind of like, yo, man, you took a knee, and everyone was like, oh, wow, this is a thing. Yeah. The whole nation was like, yo, like police brutality. You got the attention of everybody. Yeah. So
what's next?
So what are we
going to do about it?
What are we doing about it? Mark, you think he's going to play again?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think he fumbled.
Yeah, I think he fumbled. Big fumble.
Yeah, that's a pretty big fumble, man.
Big fumble. And it's so mad because he's so marketable. He's so everything. It's just...
and Nike did that big piece with him. Yeah. And I thought, he had a lot of good momentum there. I wonder what was going through his head during that time, man.
I don't know, man.
We'll have to see what happens there. So, man, like, what are you doing? Like, it's Saturday, you got nothing to do. Like, what are you doing to what what are your hobbies? What are you enjoying?
I love playing basketball. I
okay.
love talking trash.
Yeah.
In your face, boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love talking
What's
trash.
your game? Are you a 3-ball player?
I'm a 3-ball player. Okay. A little drive in. I'm a little bit of both.
Who's your team right now in the NBA?
I don't know. I like the Heat, but after the LeBron thing, it's like it hurt me forever.
Yeah. It did.
Like I'm like
the city was on fire when he was here. It was on fire.
Playoffs were like Art Basel.
They were.
You know what I'm saying? Because courtside, my phone is ringing. Chris Brown's here. Neo's here. This guy's here. Courtside, Rihanna. Blah blah blah.
And it was like every game, man.
Every game, man. Every game. So when that split happened, it kind of like
it's not the same.
It's not the same, man. And it's like I love the Heat. I love going to the games. I'm a economy guy. You know? So it's like I like my Miami teams, because that brings more money to the table for the city. So I like doing things for that. But it's just like ever since LeBron, that Chris Bosh, and the whole thing split, it's like it
was tough.
It's tough, man.
It was a good fit in Miami.
Seeing LeBron blow up now and dunking the Lakers, I'm jealous. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm absolutely jealous because I miss those. He just brought. It was like the Jackson 5.
Yeah, you could feel it like on any time there was a Heat game and you were just on 95. You're like, oh, there's a Heat game.
There's a Heat game. And it's just the city was electric.
That's crazy to be one person to do that. To be LeBron coming and them assembling that team, you could set an entire city on fire like that.
That's why I said this. He's a smart guy.
He is.
Like people could say this and say that. He's a very smart guy, and he has a lot of pressure, on him because any little thing, it's a problem.
Right.
So like I got pressure on me, but I'm not as big as him. So if I make a mistake, it's a mistake. But LeBron makes a mistake, it's
a whole thing.
It's the end of the world.
And that's what What do you feel like, and you've seen so many celebs and yourself as a businessman. What do you think is one thing that people getting into business need to know about? Or it's an artist trying to study their craft. What do you think the biggest things they're missing out on?
I mean, just missing, I would say like really some advice to them is like have tough skin.
Yeah.
Because this is a business where it's forever changing.
Right.
So if you're not changing with the times, you're not gonna keep up. You're not gonna. You got to. Knowledge is power. I always say, like, you can lose money, but if you got knowledge, you can get back the money.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So knowledge is almost more powerful than money to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
absolutely.
What I know in here, you can't take away.
You can't take away, and you can build on that.
Yeah, you can go to my bank account and it seizes funds.
Right.
But you know what?
But you can't seize that.
You can't seize this.
That's a good point.
And that's why I like to read. I like to watch. Even yourself, Josh. I commend you, man. This is one of the best interviews I've ever had. You know what I'm saying? Just having a conversation.
Absolutely,
and you sound educated. And, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
We need more brothers like you out there for the culture, taking it to the next level. And I'm gonna do my thing, and I'm gonna let my boys in class and Khaled and everybody know, like, they need to stop by here and speak
man.
to you.
Yeah, run through.
Definitely.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Tell everyone where to get at you. Give them the gram, tell them websites. Where can everyone follow what you got going on?
Well, what I got going on now is, my dad, Inner Circle, Bad Boys 3, drops in January.
Boom.
It's going to be big. The song is in the movie. I got a few more surprises happening with the song, too, that I can't really talk about right now. Because, that Bad Boy song is a legendary song.
It's legendary, man.
Yeah,
how do you make one like that?
I don't even know, man. I told Will, I said, man, that song took me to college, man.
Right.
Sent me to college. You know what I'm saying?
That song. That's what's so crazy.
25 years.
God.
That song. That song's the first song on a reality show.
Right.
Which was Cops.
Right.
So, like, I got to commend my dad, and it was just spirit, just God, man.
Were they thinking about that when they were like, yo, this is going to be a hit?
Nobody even knew. It was like 2 years after they made it. That's why I say people with songs, you never know, like, what's going to happen with that record or with that song. So you always got to be thinking. You always got to be peeping. You always got to be knowing what's happening and what's going on.
Right. They were in the studio. They made the song. They were like, we think it's cool. 2 years later, blow.
And then somebody was like, hey, just use it on this movie. I mean, use it on this pop show. And they're like, who cares? Yeah. And then 2 years later, like, yo, we got to renegotiate this, man.
Yeah.
This is big.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah. That's crazy.
So, yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So, and then what else? I got my little brother. You know my little brother, Lunch Money Lewis. He has a new single out called Pony.
Okay.
With City Girls, but he's a huge songwriter. He does his thing.
That's good awesome. Guy. Great that he's doing City Girls too. They're popping up like crazy.
Yeah, like crazy. Those girls. I seen them start like Trina, from 0 to 100. Yeah. You know, so Miami's just changing, man. And it's like the Latin scene is getting humongous. I mean, like, whoa. Right. You know, they're selling more records. You know why? Because they have more outlets. You know, like if I'm a Latin artist in Miami, I got Telemundo, Univision. I can go world premiere my video. I got 20 different stations I can go to.
Yeah, and you're international off the bat.
Right there. I'm a hip hop artist now in Miami. I got to go to 99 Jams. I got to go to the 103.5 The Beat. I got to go Suave DJ or you know what I'm saying, or Tall, please play my record. Right. Where the Latins, like, they have way more outlets. Right. And they're working together more as a team.
Yo, that's what we got to get, man.
The hip hop artists here in Miami. So. Like they clicking up and doing albums. Like they clicking up. Like we should, you know.
And that's what we need more of, man. That's exactly what you're saying, man. Definitely. We got to get together. Well, people have got to check that out, man. And where can they follow you on Instagram?
At Abebe Lewis, at ABEBELEWIS.
Boom, guys, check him out, man. Thank you so much for coming on Creative Radio. Appreciate you.